Hola amigos de Mucho Miedo, estamos ahora con Lee Bahr, que nos va a hablar un poco acerca de su libro Fantasma, que es un libro sobre género bizarro y que acaba de salir, publicado en español para todos los lectores de Latinoamérica y España. Hi Laura, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Hello, Mexico City.
So your book Fantasma is now taken to the Spanish audience. How do you feel about that, as it is one of the first books of this genre bizarro to be taken to the Spanish language?
It's really been incredible. Haunt, it was originally called Haunt, and it was published in about, I think it was 2011. And this past year, Orsini Press asked to publish it for the Spanish audience. And I couldn't be more thrilled about it. I think that it's the sort of book that will really find an audience, and that people will really, hopefully, enjoy it. And it's weird, it's strange, but I think it's the kind of weird and strange that people can really get behind.
Okay, so about the book. It's a book about you can create your own story, and also it has three characters, and one of these characters is the reader.
Yeah.
So what can readers expect to live through this book?
Yeah, so basically the concept of it was like a choose-your-own-adventure, which were these, basically a choose-your-own-adventure type of book, but one that you read straight through. So basically you see everything that could have happened if you'd chosen something different. So the character of you, the reader, is a guy named Richard Jameson, and he is a 26-year-old guy working in an office in Los Angeles, and he is figuring out, or not figuring out, this relationship between the ghost who's living in his apartment and some journalist who is investigating her death.
Okay, and talking about that, we also have this character Sarah, who takes us to this ride. Yeah. So what does she represent to you? To what could she represent in general?
She represents that beautiful victim in a lot of ways. There's this, in a lot of detective stories, you basically have the character who everybody's trying to solve this case for. So Sarah represents that in a way, but she also is her own person. She's she's aspiring singer. She works in an office, and she's trying to make her own way before she meets her untimely end. So Sarah is the representation of basically what does it mean to have a heroine who is both the victim and then the femme fatale, because she turns on you because she's also the former life of the ghost. I may be revealing too much here. Maybe I am. The ghost is also the narrator. The narrator is is me, and this person is the ghost. So the ghost is telling you, the reader, the story.
Okay, and also this book is into the bizarro genre, which is kind of hard to explain what it is. What is this genre for you?
So bizarro. Oh, look, there's light. Bizarro is basically you have normal, typical sort of stories. Bizarro takes everything you know about a story and just turns it on its head. So it's beyond weird. It's like it's from another planet. Fantasma is this imprint of Bizarro called Fungasm. And Fungasm is just slightly in a different world. So it's not as completely different as a lot of Bizarro is, but slightly different. So Bizarro is a genre for adventurous readers who want something different. They don't want the same old stuff. And it's also for readers who are interested in, you know, fast, fun, crazy stories, things that are either, and there's everything in the genre. You know, there's science fiction type, there's horror type, there's all these different types of Bizarro. So for the adventurous reader, Bizarro is the way to go. They compare it to the cult section in the movie. If you went to see a movie, the weird cult section, that's Bizarro.
Okay, so do you have any favorites of this genre?
Oh yeah, I have a lot. I just read an amazing short story collection called Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, which you can get on Kindle. To me, it defines kind of what Bizarro is. It has, and it's wonderful. And you can buy that on Kindle for, I think, $2.99. So it's called Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and it's edited. It's put out by The Strange Edge. That's a very typical Bizarro in terms of, it's not typical, but it's very Bizarro. There's a book called Skullcrack City that came out this past year by Jeremy Robert Johnson. There's a book I love called I Slutbot by Michael Hansen. I could go on. There's a lot of really fantastic. Orsini Press is putting out House of Quicksand, which is by Carlton Mellick III. Carlton Mellick III is he is the father of Bizarro. All Bizarro started with him. So if you look up Carlton Mellick III, you will find just an incredibly prolific author who has every kind of story. So those would be where I would send people to look up more Bizarro. And there will be another Spanish translation of Carlton's book coming out from Orsini Press in the near future.
Okay, so talking about Orsini Press, which is the publisher of your book, and they have an interest in this Bizarro genre, how do you get in touch? How it happened?
Oh, how did he find me?
Yeah.
He found me. He sent an email to Rose O'Keefe, who is she runs Eraserhead Press, and then he sent a message to John Skip, who is my publisher for Haunt, and then he sent a message to me. He found me on Facebook. I believe it was on Facebook. Or no. He sent an email. He got my email address, and so he found me through email and social media. Yeah. And then he said he wanted to publish Haunt, and we talked about it, and I was thrilled at the idea of having it be translated, and he's done an absolutely fantastic job with the translation. And translating is an art all unto its own, because choosing which words to use and how to shape it is incredibly difficult, and he's just done an amazing job. Okay, and also Fantasma Haunt won the Wonderland 2011 award. How do you feel about that? That was it was one of the most honoring experiences I've had. It was really wonderful and unexpected. It was my first. Book. I'd only known about the Bizarros for about a year, and it was so gratifying because I love those authors. They are my people, and I respect them so much. And so the award is given by other authors and bizarro people who come to the Bizarro Con. So it's a vote by the attendees and the other authors, and it was incredible. It was, as a somebody, it meant the world to me. I cried. I gave a long speech and cried.
Okay, and how was the process of writing Fantasma?
It was long, it was complicated, and it was strange. It was very weird. Basically, I started writing it on a typewriter and in a series of emails to myself while at my job. So I would send myself, when I had free time, I would email myself bits of the story. And then after I had about well over a couple hundred pages of scraps, I went and stayed with my mom for 2 months in New Mexico, and just worked in her. She had a little office in there. She would be playing video games until about 2 in the morning, but then after she went to sleep, I would go and work on her computer. My mom was really into video. She still is. She really loves video games. So as soon as she was done playing video games, I would go and I would work. And basically I took each of the scraps and I worked it into this story. Everybody had a storyline and like a flow chart sort of thing. It took a long time, but then, so it all came into these series of choices and all these different realities. And then after I finished that, and it was a cohesive book, I put it in a box for years, and I didn't look at it again, and then I took it out, and then I cut a bunch of stuff and edited it and made it into the story that you can read now. It was a long, crazy process. It was weird.
And what was your inspiration to create Fantasma?
Well, there was a couple different things. I wanted to do something with the feeling of obsession, the feeling of being haunted, being possessed by both the good and the bad of what is love. You know, love can be the most beautiful, exhilarating, life-affirming feeling in the world. And it can also, if one becomes obsessed with it, it can, you know, take you over and make you into a kind of completely irrational, crazy person. So I wanted to do something with that emotion, and to me that is personified as like a ghost or a spirit, you know, that there's the spirit aspect, which is this kind of positive, affirmed thing, and then there's also that haunted, creepy thing. So that's a big picture idea of what it was about. Most importantly to me was it was about obsession and love and obsession. And I love, personally, noir and detective stories, so I wanted it to, which to me are also stories about being haunted. So I wanted to put those two together.
Okay, but you also dedicate yourself to theater, films, and everything. So which other projects are you working on right now?
Right now I'm in a musical that is the Book of Genesis. So there's an album and it's the Book of Genesis, and I'm part of that. I play an angel. I am working on finishing my first movie called Boned. It should be done any moment now. And I just completed my second novel. So that will be out this fall.
Okay.
Coming out from Fantasma Press.
So about Bone, what is it about?
There's an old movie book called The Maltese Falcon, which was a very inspiring prototype. This is sort of a comic version, updated and completely, turned on its head, a bizarro version of it, I guess. It's about a dog walker actress who meets this handsome doctor, and the doctor wants her to take care of a Maltese, a little dog. And but the dog ends up being stolen, and her partner ends up getting shot, and she has to try and find the Maltese, which is being pursued by this evil dominatrix and her goth kid cronies. The big thing of it. It's a fun movie. Hopefully.
Okay, and will Fantasma go to the big screen?
I don't know. It's not something I personally want to do, but I'm open to people who are interested in turning it into a movie. They can approach me and tell me what their plans are. It would be a very strange movie, but you could do it. It's a very strange book.
So you're about to release your second novel. Is it in the bizarro genre or?
Yes, it is coming out from Fantasma Press, who published Haunt. It is, yes, it's part of this year's lineup coming up from Fantasma, and I think there's going to be a big, campaign later in like the next couple months for it. But yes, it's definitely bizarro. Fungasm. It's a fungasm sort of book, meaning it takes place in our reality, sort of. But there's a lot about it that's just out of its mind and in another planet. Not a literal other planet, just a strange place. Yeah, so it's basically about a brutal murder, somebody making a movie about that, and Christians versus vampires.
It's great. We will be looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And now, where we can buy Fantasma?
You can get it at orsinipress.com. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at barnesandnobles.com. So basically, you can order it online. You can ask for it at your bookstore, and they should be able to get it.
Okay, well, you have it there now, so you can show it to our fans.
Fantasma. Isn't that pretty? I love this cover. And the original, just so you can see, this is the original. This is the way the original book looked.
Okay.
And I love this cover, and I love this cover. They're very different, but also they evoke a similar thing. So, anyway. English, Spanish.
Well, thank you very much for talking about your new book. We will read it, and it's great. It's great. We are in the middle of it, and we have been in a great experience trying to figure out what is going on with the characters and everything. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been wonderful talking to you.